WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Yes, I'm back in like the main studio, downtown Baltimore. I'll be back for a couple of days into this week as I sort of offshoot into local crab cakes in Howard County, at Leland's, and in Cecil County on the way to see Jimmy Buffett. This guy knows his way around the state. He knows the Bay Bridge. He has a little Eastern Shore thing going on over there. He manages money. He gives us advice. And he's waiting for football season like all of us. Leonard Raskin joins us now from Raskin Global. Have I made you hungry? Have I?
Hey, man, I'm all about the crab cakes. I was with a client this week who told me that she wanted to make some crab cakes, and the meat was $55 a pound. She said it was a little too rich for her crab cake taste.
All right, Leonard. I woke up early Thursday morning in Ocean City, Maryland. I got up at 5 in the morning. I was going to get up early enough to see the boats go out. I saw them come in and weigh the fish earlier in the week at the White Marlin. I didn't get up early enough. I mean, I had a late night. I went drinking with friends. It's the beach. You know how it goes, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I got up at 5 in the morning, and I drove straight to Cambridge to see Jack Brooks at J.M. Clayton. I posted a picture of just unbelievable sunrise. I don't know about you. You drive to the beach a lot. You probably use the Denton route, right? Because you're a Delaware beach guy. You go to 404 or whatever, right? There's so many places that I've seen in the first 5 days of the tour, 6 days of the tour, that I've never seen because I was always in a hurry to get there, right?
Yeah, you just got to get to the beach.
When you're 10 years old, you're in a hurry. When you're 20 years old, you're in more of a hurry and things are itching. And when you're in your 20s, you just want to get there and get back without traffic, like all of that, right? Traffic made it long enough. The only thing that would make it longer would be like making a left or a right and going down some back road, right? Especially back in the Rand McNally era, right? But in the Google Map era, I'm going to say this, and I haven't really talked to a lot of local people like you. Dennis obviously gave me that crazy Coons Ford Bronco I'm running around with. I did his show on Thursday. The state is so beautiful. And I said to Dennis, is it the windshield in the Bronco that made it so beautiful in this particular? I don't know, but I made a left turn past Cambridge and I went up toward a place called Hurlock, through a town called Secretary. Beautiful. All of these towns are like bikini waxed, everything's clean. The corn's growing at the right level. Everything's green right now. All of the little tributaries look beautiful with grasses and marsh, and it's just been a beautiful week. I don't know what to say. Like driving off of 50 into these places. I had never been to downtown Cambridge, right?
So you turn off the news. You got to turn off the news and realize this is what I always say to people. You want to be happy about your life? Turn off the news, get outside and look around. Man, there's beauty out there. There's peace out there. There's happy people out there.
There's watermelon out there.
There's lots of good stuff,
Peaches.
Man. People aren't angry and political and fed up and frustrated. People are happy, man. They're doing their life. Everything isn't the Delta variant every minute.
Well, Leonard, I'll tell you this. I was at the beach and I was with the Republican mayor of Ocean City, the Democratic mayor of Salisbury. Right. I was with Chamber of Commerce leaders of mainly red stripe instead of blue stripe, right? I talked to the beach is packed, right?
Absolutely.
And if the first thing you saw was a police guy tasing somebody back in May, you're like, not that that's good, not that we got the truth, there'll be a trial, all of that. But Ocean City is clean.
Yep.
Packed. I mean, like people everywhere having fun. There's cotton candy. There's thrashers. They've figured out the political situation now with the J1s and trying to get kids in from Europe to work because kids like your kid with your Ohio State going back to college this week. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it's that time. So the commerce on the shore is interdependent with so many things that maybe they're political, but they're not as political radical one way or radical the other way.
That's right.
They're about selling steamship round the beef at Anthony's on 17th Street and a proper egg and damn cheese sandwich at 3 a.m. Getting back to business and getting back to having fun and living our lives. I'm seeing a lot of people have fun during August of 2021. I think that's been a little gift to me to the Crab Cake Tour.
Yeah, people are out there having a ball, and they're eating and they're drinking, and like you said, the beach is packed, families everywhere. I remember, like you said, teenage years, 20 years, uh, getting down to the beach and hanging out and watching the girls walk on the boardwalk and all those fun things, and people are doing that.
I may or
And
may
yeah,
have not have done that the other night.
yeah,
Maybe.
you may or may not have. I got it. Hey, look, you're not blind. You're just married.
Well, I would say this about the tour and the crab cake eating and all of that stuff. The crab cake's been an excuse to get together with Heather Mazier, get together with Rick Meehan, get together with
Yeah.
Jake Day, get together with Donna Edwards this week, even get together with Bruno Mars before the week is over with here, and have my wife dance a little bit. But we're football people, right? Like, and we're getting close on the football season. I have not talked to you since before the mess. I was on vacation. We've been ships passing in the night. The vaccination thing and Lamar and football, it's not a black thing or a white thing or a right thing or a left thing. I mean, this is Kirk Cousins and Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson and Cole Beasley, and but everybody has a political opinion about it. But are we going to be able to keep players on the field? I mean,
I don't know.
got to
It's
vaccinate
crazy.
people, man.
Well, it's just crazy. And well, you either got to vaccinate, or what I don't understand, and I'm no doctor, let's face it, there's doctors that know a hell of a lot more about this than either of us, for sure.
Well, you're shot up, though. You're vaccinated.
Yeah, but here's Lamar last year. He missed 2 weeks during the Pittsburgh game with COVID.
And talked about how sick it made him.
Right. Now, this time he tested positive, but he wasn't sick. He just tested positive. He had one of these, relapse things that people get. I don't know what the league's going to do about that. It's kind of crazy to me. Whether you got shot up or whether you had it, the fact that you can get it again, but all indications are everybody that gets it again is a pretty mild case. It's just like, cold, maybe seasonal flu or something. I don't know how you keep a guy out who's either been vaxxed or tested positive. I don't know how you keep him out for the 2 weeks again in that situation. But I guess if it's
if they're still contagious,
if it's contagious, you got to worry about everybody else.
Well, the issue with COVID, let's be honest. Let's talk about dying and all that. The contagiousness of it, the fact that we give it to each other, is the plague. I mean, that's the part of it that we don't fully understand as humans, because we can't put germs together because we don't see them. And if we don't see them, they must not exist in the minds of some people. But I'm more on the Fauci and the doctor side of 99.9% of doctors said I should have a vaccination. And do I feel 100% great running around? I'm not touching people on this tour so much. You know what I mean? I've sat next to people and stuff, but we are very, literally, I have Purell within arm's reach, and I'm at home right now. This came out of my bag, but I'm not being an idiot either, right? Like, this is no time to be spitting on each other, as I see it.
That's it. Well, I'd be more worried about sitting with people and talking to people and, eating crabs with people maybe than because somebody's spitting out a shell. Than being on the beach or shaking hands. I'm less worried about somebody's hand than I am their breath.
Well, when I went into Cambridge, back to the original story and how beautiful it was, and I went to the crab pickery. I call it that. I think it's called a crab picking house or a crab processing, whatever it is.
Right, sure.
I was kind of blown away, and you're going to be blown away too, okay? Because Jack, there's some secrecy about business, right? Like, sure. If you watch the media and like all that, Jack didn't want to let me in until 10 or 11 because he didn't think he had crabs till then. And I'm like, I have to come early. He's like, I'm not sure I'll have crabs early. He had crabs early. I showed up there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I have probably 20 minutes of video of what goes on behind the scenes at the JM Clay. You wonder why crab's $60. Fair question, right? $60 a pound. It's where it is. It's a harvesting issue. It's a picking issue. It's a visa issue. It's a value issue. It's like all of this. And
cost of gas, transportation,
cost of all of it.
Drivers.
These creatures need to be hunted. There's no farms for crabs. You have to go out into the wild, harvest them, and then get them to the plate at Costas within a day and a half or they die, right? So that's how sensitive this is. And when you see the videos that I have shot of the Mexican H2B workers, picking these like my wife, when I showed her the video, she's like, I hope you zoomed in on their hands. I'm like, that's all I did, because like just watching what they do and this art form.
Yeah, but they're not having fun picking. See, when I'm eating crabs and you're eating crabs, we're having fun. They're working, man. They're working. They on a piecemeal basis. They get paid per show, baby.
They get paid every hour or hour and a half. They weigh he showed me his whole operation. It was completely transparent that you know where a crab comes from. So he showed me the whole thing. I pulled up, he showed me them dumping the crabs in. They were male. They're not really big. The big ones, they're table crabs, what they call them in the industry.
Right.
They're the ones you see at Costas or, Fadley's, wherever you eat your crabs. And these were all medium sized and they were all male, but the females are sweeter. So if you get a female crab cake, I've learned this, like, who's got the best crab cake? Whoever has the freshest Maryland female meat that day. So you're probably only going to get like that quality of crab cake. Like I get peaches this time of year and they don't taste the same in October. If you want the best crab cake taste, this is the month to eat crab cakes. And that's why I'm on the road, Len.
There you go.
I did the research just like you do on money.
There you go. And they're delicious and they can't be bad anywhere in Maryland. Now you go to Ohio and take the boy back to school, you order a crab cake, you're a fool. But
hey, I want to ask you this.
In the internal of the country, but you're in Maryland in August. You can't get you could get a less great crab cake, but you can't get a bad crab cake in Maryland. Come on.
When's your lad go back to Ohio State?
The 14th.
Right, I want him and tell him I don't ask him to do much for me. I mean, his dad does enough, right? This is my quiz for him, and you can come back with an answer week 10 of the football season, whenever he comes back for a Ravens game or whatever. Ask him to ask every kid he knows where their beach is, where they go to the beach. Because I was doing this for Ocean City. When I was driving down in that big old Coons Ford Bronco, not only did I have people honk at me, want to look at the car and pull me over, but I was behind two cars in Easton that had Arkansas and Iowa plates. And I was talking to Tom Perlazzo, Sam's brother, who runs tourism down at Ocean City, about where we're getting people from. Because when I was a kid, you and I are Baltimore guys.
Yep.
Everybody I ran into at the beach was from Maryland. They were not from Pittsburgh. They were not. Sometimes West Virginia, maybe. I mean, I met some West Virginia girls like that, but almost never from Philly. They all went to Wildwood or to Atlantic City or whatever. I didn't go to any of the Delaware beaches. I didn't even know where. I had a friend that had a Bethany Beach. I never heard of Bethany Beach. Wasn't even on a Ram McNally map.
No, I was at Ocean City. I was at Ocean City all the time as a kid, growing up, 20s, college.
But did you meet Steelers fans in 1980? You didn't.
No.
They started marketing, and the Ocean City people have told me that Pittsburgh thing over the last 30 years. Obviously, if you're in Ocean City, you see it. But I said this to Rick Meehan, who's from Baltimore, Towson guy, right? He's the mayor. He's been the mayor of Ocean City forever, right? I said, I always thought Ocean City was like our beach. It was Baltimore's beach, right? And we're sharing it with Leonard. It was packed, and I'm thinking they're saying that they're marketing Ohio now. And
there you go.
Tom told me this. He said Pittsburgh people thought of Myrtle Beach as their beach because Myrtle Beach marketed Pittsburgh in the 60s and 70s. And Ocean City is now moving to get even more people from Ohio to make Ocean City, Maryland, and the Maryland coast their big. I'm blown away by the progress of Maryland over the last 25 years, whether it's 50, whether it's these roads off the roads, whether it's the build up around Salisbury. I know you see it on the Delaware side. The shore is really popular, and Delaware always had that free tax thing. Maryland's even got it now. We got to talk about that, man.
Hey, we have a week of it. But to your point, I'll tell you where we are right outside Bethany. I can't drive 5 minutes in any direction from my house and not see construction. They are building thousands and thousands of new homes in the Ocean View, Bethany, the Bayside of Delaware. It is everywhere from Lewis to Fenwick and everywhere in between. And people are buying as fast as they're building. It's amazing what's going on there.
People want to be over there. And
Absolutely.
Leonard, I'm 52, right? And I'm on my life's journey. I don't fancy myself an Eastern Shore living at the beach my rest of my life kind of guy. But this was the first week where I got awakened again to that 18-year-old image of I'm going to move to the beach and have a beach life or whatever, because I've talked to so many people over there, and it's not hard to say. I mean, I was at a Coastal Salt the other night on the boardwalk by chance, literally just hungry. They barely let me in. It was sort of like last call, and they went up getting me a beautiful sandwich, right? And I went up talking to some Baltimore people, someone from Accelerant that I knew from Baltimore, and shout out to Vaughn Rocco. So I'm sitting having a drink and talking about it. And I don't have to say to people, why are you down here? Right. Like I almost have to say to you, Leonard, you know, if you could cash out right now, what are you doing in Hunt Valley? Are you going to live permanently? Do you see yourself at some point? Kid's already in college. You already got rid of him. Are you and your wife just going to bake out and move down there and Baltimore becomes the part-time place? Because I'm starting to feel people our age that must be your vision. It's why you saved all this money, and invest money is your American dream. To me, it's probably the Delaware. You think you're going to die in that house in Delaware, right?
Well, actually, since you asked, I'm probably going to die in a house somewhere in Florida.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, or, you know, I'm trying to convince the wife Texas, but she's not interested in Texas. But she's cool with Florida. There are 7 states in this country where income is tax-free. The thing about Delaware, income taxes are lower. A little bit of your pension, retirement, Social Security income is tax-free. One of the things that our Governor Hogan's trying to do is to make pension income for first responders and teachers and the like tax-free, because he recognizes that a lot of seniors finish their career and do just that. They move to Delaware or they move to Florida, because in retirement, for a lot of people, that fixed income amount is critical to live. And when you got to give the state 7% of your fixed income, it's a big nut when you can live in a state where there is no income tax. And that 7% adds to your lifestyle. It's a significant raise. Delaware's not tax-free, but it's close. Now, where they are tax-free,
so if you
is on sales.
As an example, if you decide at 60 whatever you're gonna remain here, 7% of everything you'll ever make the rest of your life, you won't
goes to Maryland.
That sounds pretty punitive. 7%.
That's right. If I'm on a fixed income,
3 mortgages.
If I'm on a fixed income and I'm making 50, 60, and then I got Social Security, maybe all in, I'm making $50,000, $75,000. Giving $3,000 to $5,000 to the state is a significant difference in my ability to eat crab cakes, my ability to enjoy my retirement, my ability to help the grandkids. So people leave. And the other thing, you talk about Delaware, the property taxes in Delaware are dirt cheap. So you can have more house for less to the government. And there is no sales tax. So you go there, you buy stuff, furniture, cars, 6% stays in your pocket of everything you spend. And Maryland, in their infinite wisdom, and I give them credit for this, just not big enough, props out, is we have what's called tax-free week, which is actually coming up Sunday to the 14th. We'll have tax-free week for the next week so that people can, quote unquote, buy back to school things. Now, the good thing is it's tax-free week. The bad thing is there's 6 pages of rules put out by our comptroller's office of what that means. How does tax-free week work? What can you buy that's tax-free? How much can you spend tax-free? Well, it's limited to items of clothing, shoes, things like that, under $100. You and I both know that if you got a kid and you're going to buy a pair of tennis shoes, it's rare that they're under $100. Now, when you and I were young bucks, we had the PF Flyers and the Jack Purcells. They were $7 at Sunny Surplus. But these days, that's not the case. You know, a pair of Nikes, a pair of Adidas, whatever, we're talking a couple $100 for shoes. So the first $100 is tax-free. So Maryland recognizes that it's a benefit for their consumers to have tax-free shopping for a week. Here's my premise. If tax-free shopping is good for a week, why isn't tax-free shopping good for a month? If it's good for a month, why isn't it good forever? And the fact is that government, again, doesn't matter whether you're D or an R, you have to understand economics. Government believes that you have to tax things so that you collect revenue. What they don't realize is if you don't tax things, you actually get more revenue. Because when you don't tax things, business gets more revenue. Business pays taxes based on earnings. Employees pay taxes based on income. And if we have more income, more earnings, tax revenues and receipts to the government actually go up. So lowering taxes increases government revenue. It doesn't decrease government revenue. And how do you know that? Well, one of the ways you know that is there are 7 laboratories around this country, and they are Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Wyoming, South Carolina, Washington, Alaska. You go to those states, there's no income tax. Somehow budgets are balanced, revenues are booming, states are flying. Delaware, no sales tax, revenues flying. How? Why? Because they're bringing in alternate revenue from property tax, from more business flocking to their state, which is bringing in business taxes. There's all
I think about
kinds
this
of
all the
things.
time. Like I drove across the Bay Bridge, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, okay? But like we have the Easy Pass, right? So
Yeah,
because I had Dennis's vehicle, I got in his vehicle and I'm driving down 97, and I swear to God, I got down to like Crofton, and I'm like, I don't have an Easy Pass. Like literally, my wife had it in the car. I'm like, I should have grabbed it, and I'm like, I got $5 or $10. I didn't know how much it was. I knew it was one way you paid. I knew it was
yeah,
expensive. I thought it was like $8 or $10 or whatever. I had no idea what it cost, whatever.
right,
I have no idea that like there is no more toll booth, right? Like it just
right. It's
occurred to
gone.
me because I haven't reached for $1 to pay a toll. And I wonder, like, cross a tunnel or a bridge in New York. Go across to Verrazano and watch the $18 bill come or whatever, right?
Yep,
Like
yep.
it's outrageous. The tolls in New York, Florida, you get on the Skyway, like you start to see the money. Maryland doesn't like poke you in that way. Like the Jersey Turnpike, you were always reaching for dimes and nickels. It was $8.40. It felt expensive. It is amazing how robbing Peter, paying Paul, as we would say, or robbing Nestor and paying Leonard, right? As
Yep.
it goes, they got to get the money somewhere. It's just a matter
Yeah,
of where they get it, where
yeah.
we feel it, and how we feel it,
And
right?
the thing is, what people don't realize, and that's why I say red and blue are so critical in this measure. They got to get together and figure this out. The tolls, the gas tax, the liquor taxes, the things like that are most punitive on those that earn the least. When you earn a lot of money, putting gas in your tank, you don't think about the gas tax. But when you don't make a lot of money, that's huge.
Or when you
Like
go
I
to
said,
California and you see gas is always $1.50 more. Again,
and
literally,
that's because
you
of
go there and you're
California's
like,
tax.
they pay $4.50 for gas in California. Well, that's how California gets their money, right? Like and they
They
have
also
water,
have the
they have
highest. They
fire
also
issues, they
have the
have
highest income tax in the land at 13+%. So they
exactly.
get
But
it.
they had
They get it every.
sunshine, and 40 years ago, everybody wanted to be there, right?
That's right. That's right. But as most governments take a look, if you really look deep, and we don't, this is a whole philosophical thing of government. They spend too much. It's not that they don't earn enough. They spend way too much money. They give away way too much money. So if you keep giving it away, you got to find a way to feed that pig. And when you give it away, you got to feed. The fact is that the government clearly spends too much, therefore taxes too much. But when government is in control of their spending, they can tax less, and they have happier citizens. And you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to look too far. This isn't a national experiment. There are 7 states where the population is booming. And it's growing like crazy because one of the reasons is there's no taxes. Like go right across Delaware. When I want to buy something, when we bought the place in Delaware and we needed to furnish it, you look at the 6% sales tax not being taxed on items that we buy for the place in Delaware. I want to buy everything there. When I buy stuff in Delaware, I save 6%. If I bring it home, I don't have to pay the 6% if I bring it back to Maryland. But if I buy it here, you got to pay 6%. Now, if you ship it here, you still got to pay the 6%. They got to collect for Maryland. And the internet's now that way. So this week, this sales tax break we have coming up next week is on the internet too, because now we have this national, the internet collects sales tax. It didn't used to. If you can remember just a few years ago, you would buy something on the internet, there was no sales tax. But now the internet vendors, the Amazons of the world, the Walmarts, whoever, you ship to the state with sales tax, they have to calculate and collect that sales tax. But this coming week, they don't have to calculate and collect that sales tax on $100 worth of stuff you buy. So we got a tax-free week, and I would encourage our listeners that if you're going to buy stuff, if you're going to get out there, make sure you take advantage of this tax-free week, and then pick up the phone, call the comptroller's office, call the governor's office, call your local representative's office, and say, I like that. That's pretty good. Why don't we have 2 of those weeks? And lo and behold, I think we're going to have another one in the fall or the winter or something. And then the question is, if we have 2, and they literally go on the news, watch the news this coming week, you'll see the governor, the comptroller, you'll see people interviewed. It always happens. How great is it that Marylanders can save the sales tax? Well, if it's so great, why not save more of it? Why not do it more? Why not make it sales tax-free month? Let's see how that goes. I guarantee you they won't lose revenue.
Leonard Raskin is here. He is Raskin Global. I'm wearing the shirt. You can find him at raskinglobal.com to get any sort of financial advice, a little bit of wisdom. Certainly, there's some Q&A up there, some frequently asked questions at raskinglobal.com. I want to remind everybody Maryland Restaurant Week, because we're talking about Maryland, we got rid of that song, by the way. Back for its second year. It's Restaurant Week. It kicks off September 17th. 10 days, bringing all the counties, which I'm visiting every county for a crab cake, including Caroline County, and all restaurants together to celebrate the support the industry. For the restaurants, there's no course requirements, no prefix menus needed, no entry fees. If you're a restaurant, you want to participate, make sure you find them. And if you are an eater like Leonard and I, it is Restaurant Week, September 17th through the 26th. It's next month. I'll be telling you more about it as the crab cake tour rolls on. I'm making you hungry, aren't I, Leonard? Not just for football.
I'm ready for crab cakes, baby. I'm ready
to save 6%. I appreciate the education on the Delaware, Maryland thing. My dude Batman's been trying to send me to Delaware for a crab cake, and I'm like, dude, it's a Maryland tour.
It's a Maryland tour.
It's a
Maryland tour.
I'm not against Delaware. I'm going to drive through there next week, but I am going
in Delaware in September.
I'm venturing into Delaware 2 weekends from now to go to the kangaroo and sloth farm. And I really pissed off the Salisbury mayor because he wanted me to go to the Salisbury Zoo. Now my wife has been on the Salisbury Zoo site. She saw the wallabies there. It might be a double zoo day. I don't know. We're also going to attend something called the Sharpstown Carnival. It's in Maryland, but it's right where the corner, where Del Mar and like that area is. And apparently they have like legitimate crab cakes there, like Mamacita crab. It's like a fair crab cake that's legit.
Hey,
so
there you go.
I'm moving around. I'm not just doing boardwalk stuff, right? And I figured this out, and you'll appreciate this as a smart aleck who likes to haze me. I've been told many, many times in my life, go fly a kite. And I've never flown a kite.
Do it. What?
So this might be my opportunity to fly a kite. I'm thinking of things I've never done. I had never seen a 137-pound tuna get weighed before.
Did you see the boat go down? Did you see that boat? Oh my God! Did you see that? During the Marlin Open?
So I was at the weighing that day, right? It's the first day. The weather was beautiful.
Yeah, wow.
I'm a tourist there. People are looking at me because I have funny hair. They all have Trump hats. And they stopped everything, and the announcer came on, and it's festive. They're playing country music. They're waiting for the next boat. Everybody's looking for the next Marlin. It was very somber. Dude started telling the story about this boat and rescue and what boat went out there. And Leonard, you could hear a pinch. I mean, it was a party that stopped, right? And we're all like, oh my God. And he's like, listen, everybody survived. The boat went down. It's devastating, but we have real heroes here. When they come back, we're going to honor them as heroes. And then 4 hours later, the video surfaced.
Right.
I was like, that night I was out with Batman.
Wow.
I was at Fishtails, and the video, I'm literally sitting there over an ahi tuna of all things, tacos, seeing this video, and people are hitting me with it because they know I'm here. And I shared it. I mean,
it was unreal.
Heroic, literally heroic, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many guys were on the boat. I don't remember what they said, 4 or 6 or something. But this other boat was there, got out there. The guys were in a life raft, lifeboat. And
the video's on my Facebook and Twitter. You can check it out.
I heard, they saved the guys, and the guys saved their beer.
In that order.
I don't know if that's true. Hey, they say the guys got in the lifeboat and took their beer.
I'm going to investigate that. All right, as an investigative reporter. I'm
That's what
going
I
back to
heard.
Ocean City next week. I'll investigate that.
Find out
Leonard
if they
Raskin
cook
is
the
here.
beer.
He is Raskin Global. I swear we'll talk some football before it's all over with. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Get the boy a final sunburn down there in Bethany before we send it back out to Ohio State. And we can get back to the Maryland-Ohio State thing here in a couple weeks, too.
There we go.
Appreciate you. Leonard Raskin, always invested money, always with great advice. Some sound advice there about Delaware and Maryland and what I'm seeing over on the shore, aside from wallabies and sloths and kangaroos and Fisher's popcorn. I am Nestor. We are WNST. We are traveling the state with our partners, including our friends at Royal Farms. It's Chicken Palooza this month. Beer and wine on the Eastern Shore, including the Wise. I was in the Wise markets in Easton. They had 2 rows of beer and wine. I felt like I was in Florida or something. It was great. So big shout out to our friends at Wise Markets as well. And of course, Dennis, for allowing me the privilege of being gawked at everywhere for 457 miles from here to Ocean City and back in the Coons Ford 2022 Big Blue Bronco. I am Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We're out on the road. We're eating crab cakes. We're talking to partners and we're having fun. It's summer 2021. Be safe out there and stay Baltimore positive.